Okay, it's 7 o'clock. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to officially call this meeting of the Mayor and Council to order. I would ask that you please rise for a moment of silent prayer and/or reflection. As we think about the Cardinale family, Senator Gerald Cardinale had recently passed. The Schaefer family, Trish Schaefer, 30-year barber in Milford, had recently passed. And the Roush family. Larry Roush is the former Upper Saddle River Fire Chief, and he's a former chief of the Bergen County Fire Instruction Facility. We also want to think about the residents of Texas that have been dealing with the grueling ice and the storms. And a little while ago, President Biden addressed the nation, and he asked us to remember the 500,000 Americans we have lost to COVID. Please salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag.
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall, and notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. Being that we are holding this meeting remote, I need to read the following. All participants are muted during the meeting. Anyone wishing to make a comment or ask a question can do so at such time as the meeting is open to the public for comment and during public hearings on any ordinances by hitting the button to raise your hand or by typing a message in the chat box. You will need to state your name and address for the record. Members of the public may also submit written comments for any future remote meetings by either email to Chris Demers at newmilfordborough.com or a written letter to the Borough Clerk. Written comments must be received by 4 p.m. on the day of the remote meeting in order to be read into the record during the meeting. Members of the public commenting during a remote meeting shall not act in any manner to disrupt the meeting. If anyone becomes disruptive during the meeting, they will be muted. If time permits, the disruptive individual shall be allowed to speak after all other members of the public are provided an opportunity to comment. Any continued disruption may result in a member being prevented from speaking during the remainder of this meeting. Disruptive conduct includes, but is not limited to, shouting, interruption, and the use of profanity. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Saraki Hurley.
Present.
Thank you.
Sorry.
More.
Present.
Councilwoman Duffy.
Here.
Councilman Grotzky.
here,
Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Present.
Council President Grant.
Here.
Mayor Pacino.
Here. Okay. Under unfinished business, may I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the February 8th, 2021 work, public, and closed session meetings?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have a few ordinances to adopt. They were all introduced at our last meeting. And when the clerk has a second, I would ask her to read ordinance 2021:01.
Capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $214,000 for the improvement of Boulevard from McKinley Avenue to Main Street in, by, and for the Borough of New Milford in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a state grant.
As I mentioned, this is to appropriate our Department of Transportation grant for the boulevard resurfacing from McKinley to Maine. At this time, I would ask for a motion to open up to the public for a public hearing on this ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We are open to the public for any comments regarding this ordinance.
I see 3 members of the public in attendance, Mayor. And at this time, no one has indicated that they wish to speak on this ordinance.
Okay. At this time, I would ask for a motion to close to the public on this ordinance.
Motion to close. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
So moved. Second.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
Okay. This ordinance is adopted. Next one on the agenda is 2021:02. And when the clerk gets a second, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
Bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new communication and signal systems equipment, and new automotive vehicle, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of New Milford in the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $773,750 to pay the cost thereof, to make a down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
Okay. This is a multi-purpose bond. It includes our road program, garbage truck, roof and air conditioning at Fire Department Company 1. It also does upgrades to the William Klinger courtroom and council chambers and other various fire department equipment. May I have a motion to open this ordinance to the public for a public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions on this ordinance, now's the time.
At this time, no one's indicated that they wish to speak on this ordinance, Mayor.
I would ask for a motion
Motion to close to the public.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? I would ask for a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
This ordinance is adopted.
Great.
The last one on tonight's list is 2021:03, and I would ask the clerk to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance of the Borough of New Milford in the County of Bergen, New Jersey, authorizing the acquisition of various police equipment in, by, and for the borough, appropriating therefore the sum of $46,861 and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from the capital improvement fund of the borough.
Okay, this is to fund our body cameras for our police department, AED, and speed signs. May I get a motion to open to the public for a public hearing on this ordinance?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions on this multi-purpose capital ordinance, now is the time.
We're still at 3 people attending and no one has indicated that they wish to speak on this ordinance.
Motion to close.
May I get a motion to close to the public for this ordinance?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion to adopt this ordinance on its final reading?
Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Siraki Hurley,
Yes.
Councilman Seymour,
Yes.
Councilwoman Duffy,
Yes.
Councilman Grotzky,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sandhusen,
Yes.
Council President Grant.
Yes.
This ordinance is officially adopted. Okay, moving on to new business. Item number 1 is 2021 budget, and we're going to hear from the Budget Committee.
Sure. The Budget Committee met on February 18th to continue work on the 2021 operating budget. The committee reviewed the first draft and discussed some modifications, including an additional $25,000 for legal and a slight reduction in the LoSAP. We discussed capital improvement fund and we agreed to keep it at the recommended allocation of $200,000. We reviewed the library's budget request and agreed that although the operating expenses were up, the salaries were down, and the budget as presented was reduced by 10% overall. So we opted to leave it as requested. We're still waiting on the BCOA and we hope to have that number next week, although we hope to have it last week and we did not get it. Based upon how that comes in, we may look at some small increases for fleet maintenance and snow removal. Our next meeting is March 12th and we're planning our introduction for March 22nd. I don't know if anybody else from the Budget Committee would like to add anything to that report.
That was pretty precise. Thank you, Chris.
I thought it was as well. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you. And we cannot control Mother Nature, so let's hope she goes easy on us for the rest of the year and keep the snow budget down. Okay, item number 2 is schedule updates. The only thing I have so far is, once again, the Hippity Hoppity Trail, which will be an Easter drive-by giveaway. The tentative date is Saturday, March 27th, with a rain date of Saturday, April 3rd. I know people have been asking about the Memorial Day Parade, and the Memorial Day Parade has officially been canceled for this year. The borough will do a memorial event like we did last year, which will include a proclamation, a couple of speeches, and the signs with the soldiers' faces on them on the Borough Hall lawn, and whatever else the Public Events Committee comes up with for that event. There just will be no parade this year. And does anyone else have anything else on events? Want to bring it up at this time? Anything coming up?
Nothing. Oh, nothing, Mayor.
Okay. I know that registration for recreation, spring, softball, and soccer has just ended. So I know they are putting together the numbers and looking at how many teams are going to be. So everyone is looking forward to that, including myself. Get back out on the diamond and start coaching again.
Yeah, my daughter's looking forward to soccer.
Mine too. Mine too. Item number 3 is the COVID-19 Task Force report. Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. The COVID-19 Task Force met on Thursday, February 18th, with reports from the Police Department, Fire Department, OEM, Ambulance Corps, the Health Department, Administration, DPW, Recreation, and the Board of Ed. The topics that were discussed included spring sports, the status of the vaccination site, and the initiative to increase resident participation in the Swift Reach reverse 911 system. The next meeting for the task force is scheduled for March 4th.
And I just want to add to that, we are going to be pushing forward with a reverse 911 initiative. We're going to be meeting this week, but we're planning to create a banner for River Road to tell people how they can sign up for it. You can either sign up for it on the borough website or you can download the app. We will have pictures of each so people can see it. We are planning to put a sign on River Edge Ave. We are planning to do mailings and use social media. We really want to increase our reverse 911. It is very important because it notifies people of emergencies in the borough, whether they are health emergencies, whether they are storm-related emergencies. It's also very useful when something happens and we need to change garbage or recycling collection schedules. This way everyone is on the same page. So we are going to make a huge effort to try to get everyone signed up. And it should be starting in a week or so. You'll start seeing the blitz going on around town.
Good.
And we are going to have help from the school district, recreation, the police, the fire department, the ambulance corps, and OEM on getting all of this information out. So it should be good. We should really bump up those numbers.
Great.
Item number 4 is the administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I first would like to report on the fact that we are now in the test phase for all of our online forms that we've recently developed. I sent them out to members of the staff as well as to the governing body, and I would appreciate all of your assistance in trying out the forms. In the little bit of activity that took place today, there was some very good feedback. We want to make sure that we test them out to see if there's anything that we've overlooked and to make sure that they're being routed the way that we need them to be routed. So if you can assist us by trying out one or more of our forms, I would appreciate it. And we're looking forward to launching online with the website for the public sometime in March. I spoke with the engineer about the status of the pre-application meeting with the DEP for the Madison Avenue Sidewalk project. It hasn't been forgotten. It's something that we're very much looking forward to moving on. We have the grant that we were awarded from the DOT, and we would like to make use of that and improve the safety of the area. But unfortunately, we have not been able to move forward because the first step in the process is to have a pre-application meeting with the DEP. Because of all of the things that have transpired this past year with COVID, it's been something that's been difficult to schedule. And the engineer has reached out twice and has yet to been able to schedule that. And he was going to be following up with the DEP again this week. The declaration of intent for the Bergen County open space application is due April 9th. A month or so back, we talked about the possibility of doing an application to offset some of the costs for Knight's Field. But we were fortunate enough that the bid that we had come in was low enough that we feel that we can cover the full costs of the field improvements with the money that we already have allocated. So we have talked to the engineer about the feasibility of possibly doing a dog park at Pavone Field, and we've asked the engineer to look at the feasibility of that and to provide us with a rough concept and an estimate for the council's consideration at a future meeting. On other matters, we have our bond sale planned for next month, and in advance of that, we have a meeting scheduled with Moody's to establish our bond rating. So in attendance at the meeting, we'll have the CFO, the auditor, the bond attorney, myself, and I believe the mayor is going to join us as well. They've provided us with some questions that they'd like for us to respond to in order to develop the rating that they'll give us for our bond. And I think the only other thing I had on my report is that we have our next meeting on Monday, March 8th.
And going back to the online forms. If you notice a form from Ward and June Cleaver, I don't know anything about it. Just saying.
Okay.
Before my time.
I think I've seen some from Mickey Mouse as well, so.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two appointments. Gabriela Dominguez and Matthew Lazio, both to the New Milford Municipal Alliance. May I get a motion to approve them?
Great.
Motion.
Second.
May I get a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Well, I want to say congratulations and thank you for your service. And
Thank
it's
you.
always good to see the NMMA's numbers growing. They do wonderful things.
Those are actually 2 student representatives, Mayor.
Excellent. Excellent. We want to get them in young.
Mhm.
Everyone have a chance to look at the resolutions? Are there any in there that need to be pulled out for further discussion?
Mayor, I have a additional resolution that I'd like to make a motion to add to the list. This would be the resolution it's a companion piece to 2021-85. It would be for Sustainable Jersey. It relates to the green team and it's updating appointees list.
I believe everyone has seen that resolution. Councilwoman Sandhusen's asking to list it on the list. So would someone like to make a motion to add it?
Motion.
I think we need a
Second.
second. I think Lisa made the motion.
Okay, can we get a second to add
Second.
that motion?
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that's 2021:86, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. At this time, I would ask for a motion to open to the public.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, now is your opportunity to discuss anything that's related to New Milford. Everyone gets 5 minutes to speak. And you just have to give us your name and your address for the record.
We have 4 members in attendance and I've just opened the floor for Julie Skolnick.
Hello.
Aye.
Yeah. Hi,
Hello.
can you hear?
Good
Hi.
evening. Yes.
Good evening. My name is Julie Skolnick. I live at 273 Ray Ave Extension in Hawthorne, New Jersey. I wanted to introduce myself and tell you that I'm running in the November election as an independent candidate for the General Assembly in the 38th District, which both New Milford and Hawthorne are a part of. I'll be running against Democratic incumbent Christopher Tully, who's from Bergenfield. The last independent candidate to be elected in the New Jersey Assembly was Anthony Imperiali of Newark, who won twice in a row in the mid-1970s. I know the odds are against me, but please know I am not a fatalist. I just plan on making history. When we elect our state representatives, we want them to make good, responsible, and proactive decisions. But above all else, when we give someone our vote, what we really want is just one thing, that if someone in my family is having a problem, that the person I voted for will be there for us when we need them. That's it. Be there, respond to us, and most importantly, use your position to help us. Just after the new year, I tried to reach Assemblyman Chris Tully
Excuse
and
me, Julie.
Lisa Swain.
Julie,
Yes.
do you have a question for
Go
this
ahead.
governing body?
I have a statement to make about running for the election and introducing myself as a candidate for the 38th District, which includes both New Milford and Hawthorne.
No,
In the
we
public section, you
understand.
only do questions?
We do questions, correct.
Oh.
If you wanted to, if someone wants to appear to make a statement,
Mhm.
they would ask us ahead of time, because this.
I did
although
call
this-
ahead,
The
but
district, it does cover the district of New Milford, but this is more of a campaign rather than talking about issues related to New Milford.
Oh, well, sorry, I respectfully disagree. I think New Milford residents would be interested in the candidates they have to vote for and what they're about. I did call today to ask about joining the meeting. I was not given any instructions about that this had to be related to a question rather than a statement or reading anything. It was just a general open to the public section.
I would just like to clarify, according to what we have on our agenda, the comments must be related to the good and welfare of the borough of New Milford.
Yeah, well, I would say that if you allow me to continue, I think you would see that the issues that I'm going to be talking about relate to all members, all potential voters of the 38th district, which includes New Milford candidates.
Listen,
So I assume, I'm sorry, may I ask a question? So I assume going forward that you will not allow other candidates for other positions, whether it be in the district or for Congress or anything else, to come on and make any kind of statements?
Only if it's related to the borough of New Milford or if something they've done in New Milford. We've never allowed anyone just to read campaign speeches. Although I think it is important that all of our residents know everyone who's running for office, for all positions, our mayor and council meetings are not the venue for you to promote yourself for that purpose.
I'm educating the public. That's my position. And I think that your constituents or your voters in New Milford would, in fact, be interested in hearing what I had to say if you had allowed me to continue, because it influences and educates about who it is that they're going to vote for or not vote for. And this is your district. You're in this district, the 38th district. There's 13 towns and New Milford is one of them. So all the issues that we talk about relate to all of us. It would be your representative. Just the way you represent your town, the assembly people represent New Milford in the General Assembly.
We're not arguing that.
Okay. So when somebody wants to run for mayor in your town, are they allowed to come up and talk about, why they would be a good mayor of New Milford?
Not in a campaign speech. If they're addressing an issue or a problem in New Milford that they're advocating, that's a different story.
All right. Well, I defer to you that, you don't want me to continue to talk about the things that I have to say and about the people who represent the 38th district and what they have been doing and who I am as well.
I don't think this meeting is a forum for that. I'm not saying you shouldn't be heard. I'm saying this forum is not for that.
Other towns do it differently, but I respect your decision, and I just feel sorry for the people of of New Milford who don't get to hear from people like me who want to address issues that affect all of us.
Well,
I'm sorry for them.
You should find other vehicles to reach the residents of New Milford.
I certainly will.
That's
And
welcomed. That's absolutely welcome.
I certainly will. And they don't just think they deserve a chance to hear from people like me and hear from candidates? Or do they only, I really don't understand. And I would love to go back and see the minutes of all your meetings for the last, however many council meetings you've had under your administration or going forward, that you will not allow anybody who is potentially running for an office in either your township or your congressional district or your legislative district to speak at a meeting.
If I may, Mr. Mayor, if I may, ma'am, can I just clarify? I'm the borough attorney, and no one is saying that people can't speak. I think the issue is you're giving a campaign speech.
Well, you've determined that before I finished.
Well,
I said I'm running. That is true. Okay.
Well, that's how it came across. So do you have anything for the good and benefit of the borough of New Milford?
Yes.
You're limited to 5 minutes. So what specifically is it to the borough of New Milford?
Well, I want to talk about your current representative and how it is that they're not being responsive to the people, the constituents they have in the entire 38th district, regardless of their town.
Well, our jurisdiction is only for New Milford, so we're
Mhm.
not dealing with the 38th district. If you have something that you're concerned about the New Milford residents or New Milford government, you're free to speak.
Okay, I feel sorry for the residents who don't get to hear things that about their representatives. I mean, if somebody was doing something wrong or not being responsive or responsible representative, I think the people of your town would want to know.
I would just like
But-
to say that all of the minutes for the last 10 years are posted on the borough website. You're welcome.
I
to-
know, I'm going to look, and I know this is an election year, so I assume that you will hold the same standard to everybody who comes to your meetings. But I guess, thank you for allowing me to start my speech. I'm sorry I won't be able to continue it.
You're welcome. And like I said, I think residents should know who's running and what they're about. I just don't think that this meeting is a forum for that. But I wish you luck. Have a good evening.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
Night.
Any other residents who would like to address the governing body for issues related to New Milford?
I don't see that anybody else wishes to comment at this time, Mayor.
At this time, I would ask for a motion to close to the public.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Let's go around the squares. And tonight we're going to start with Councilman Grotzky.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I have nothing to report. Hopefully next meeting we will have some good news on a specific subject, but I will refrain until the next meeting.
Ooh, that's a teaser.
A specific subject. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
It's like
For our
one of those
next episode.
cliffhangers. Councilwoman Sandhusen.
Thank you. So I have a little bit to report from the Environmental and Energy Commission. I apologize that I didn't add this to the scheduling and dates, but I had some family noise going on in the background. But they've decided on a date for the New Milford Woods dedication, and that is Sunday, April 25th at 1 p.m.
April
Uh,
25th.
Excuse me?
Sorry. Could you repeat
sorry.
that,
That would
Councilman?
be Sunday, April 25, 1 p.m. And that will be a very small dedication, more to be organized, but save the date. So they're going to it's going to be a dedication to recognize the space, and then there are future projects for bigger activities later. So everything's in discussion. So as we can do it, as openings and crowds can do. The green team submitted the technical assistance grant made their deadline. And so that was submitted. Thank you very much for the mayor and council's support for that. And I just want to thank the green team for all the work they're doing, and thank everyone for the borough and the governing body for their support in Sustainable Jersey action steps. So the approvals of the resolutions tonight will complete phase 1, and then the next phases of organizing and collecting documentation will begin. And these will create important benchmarks for the entire borough to be able to use in the future. And that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Definitely looking forward to the opening of the New Milford Woods, a little dedication. It is a great project and it's a great space, and the more people learn about it, the better it's going to be. It's a little hidden gem in New Milford.
Very much so. Thank you.
Yes. About 4,000 feet of hidden gem of Passive Park. Councilwoman Saraki Hurley.
Thank you, Mayor. Two things. One is I just would like to, the Historic Preservation Commission, I mentioned it last 2 weeks ago that we're doing an oral history. So I would just like to put it out there for anybody who would be interested in telling us your life in New Milford, whether you started 60 years ago, 80 years ago, whatever history you would like to bring forward. The other thing I would like to mention is I was, alumni in recovery got in touch with me. If you remember last year in August, we had a poster event of some of the souls that have lost their lives to overdoses, and they'll be back again. August 14th is the date that was set for everybody in for it. And that's really about it. More can be brought up once it's definitely confirmed.
Yeah, that was a very powerful event last year. And if I remember correctly, they said it was one of the best attended events.
Yes, it was.
You know?
Yep. They're very excited that they're going to be able, hopefully, to do it again.
Yes. Okay. Councilwoman Duffy.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'll just dive right into my committees. Beautification, we have been meeting informally. We have quite a bit of work to do on our existing gardens, excuse me, due to quite a bit of damage in the fall. And I'm sure when we uncover the snow, there'll be much work to be done there. So rather than promising our budget money away, we're gonna put in our labor and our work outside. So we'll be looking forward to the spring for that work to happen. As far as the Board of Health and Health Department, we had a Zoom call regarding our possible vaccine site. As usual, New Milford is completely ready to go. We have all our qualifications have been met. All the conditions are ready to go. And we are just truly just waiting for the product itself. So as soon as we are notified, the residents will be notified and the website will go live. I've had quite a few people asking, and make no mistake, people keep checking the website, the borough's website. So much needed for our town and our area. And I encourage people to keep an eye so they can participate in that clinic. Under the fire department, I have some very interesting news. And I can say this because evidence of this has been posted on Facebook. But our former chief, Murray, was on vacation up in Albany, New York, when he wasn't feeling so good. And thankfully, to the observation from a former nurse, sent him right to the hospital, and where he had brain surgery last week. I am here to tell you, he called me the other day to tell me how great he's doing. So the fire department, all the extended families within the borough are really cheering him on, but he sounds wonderful. So please send healing, good wishes, and prayers his way. He'll be back in New Milford, hanging out at the department houses in a couple of months, but he's doing well. So we're happy to report. That's my report.
We are all very excited about that. That was an amazing
Yes.
circumstance he went through, and it looks like he's doing very well.
Yes.
And I just wanted to go back real quick to the vaccination site. Another reason why it's so important to register for the reverse 911, because once we are opening, we will put out a reverse 911 to let people know that signups are available and what the status is.
Yep.
Like I said, Borough website, or you can download the app. Council President Grant.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. I'm delighted. I'd like to add my best wishes with all of yours to Chief Muri. I'm so glad that he's doing so well. I have been busy with my liaisons, and everything is going smoothly. So I have nothing specific to report this evening. Thank you.
Did you have, I was just wondering, was there an updated number on how many people attended the vaccination site for the rabies clinic?
There were,
I don't remember what you said.
it was just under, I think it was about 120 people, and there were about 145 or 150 animals who received the rabies shots.
Such a great service that the
It
residents
certainly
enjoy.
is.
Convenient for the residents. Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Councilman Seymour.
I would certainly like to echo those same, well wishes towards Chief Muri. It's nice to hear that he's making a great recovery. It's definitely a good story to hear. Board of Education met and they announced that the schools are going to be alternating half-day Wednesdays as an additional half-day of live instruction, which of course the two cohorts will alternate, sharing every other Wednesday. Recreation met and they're continuing to plan spring sports, as you had mentioned earlier tonight, Mayor. And the New Milford Municipal Alliance also met and they're finalizing plans on this year's Black Balloon Day with final plans to be announced very shortly. And once again, I'd like to extend my continued thanks to our DPW for their continued hard work in keeping our streets safe for residents.
Absolutely. They've been doing a wonderful job.
That they have.
Absolutely.
Okay. This time, I would ask for a motion to approve resolutions 2001:79 through 2021:86.
So moved.
May I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our meeting, the public portion. We are going to be moving into closed session for 3 items. Legal advice, COA midpoint review, legal advice, recycle and aftermarket contract, and PBA contract, retiree medical. We will open up after that and no action will be taken. So thank you for joining us tonight and continue to be safe.
We need a motion to go into closed.
May I get a motion to go into closed session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?